everybody. Welcome to the Section 325 podcast.
The second half.
Here we are. Super Bowl
bound. Vegas, baby.
Yeah,
Vegas.
Vegas.
That's where the Super Bowl's at, if you Swifties out there are paying attention.
So we have a lot to talk about. Well, let me tell you the news I heard today. I don't know if this is like good, like real news or somebody's just theory of what may happen.
It could be.
But apparently Tom Brady has some college eligibility, and now that he's been retired for a year, since the Michigan spot is open, Belichick might go coach Michigan Wolverines.
You know what?
And Brady will be his starting quarterback to see if they can get a national championship as well.
I heard that.
True?
I think if you look in the rules on everything, it could be done. But yeah, I did hear that this recently too, this week maybe. But I also heard it last year after his first full season of being retired, that he was eligible to go back to Michigan, but at the time coach under Harbaugh. And I mean, if you really want to make a storyline there, that bring the Michigan to second back-to-back national championship
with Tom Brady as your quarterbback. He still has a year of eligibility.
Yeah.
Do you think he gets paid? Do you think whatever it's called, pays?
He might just do it for fun.
Jeez, that's crazy. So anyway, just all this stupid news. We've got Taylor Swift's going to her first Super Bowl, guys. I don't know if she's ever performed before. I really don't care.
Not at the Super Bowl, no.
For good reason, probably.
Yeah.
I know that.
Hey, she put Travis Kelce on the map.
Yeah, Travis who? Who?
Kelce.
The guy that plays center for the Eagles?
No, his brother.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
the other talented brother. Apparently is like a future Hall of Fame tight end.
Oh, yeah, I heard something like he needs like 7 more catches to be the all-time leading receiver for receptions in the playoffs?
Well, no, he already did that. He already did it over the weekend.
Did he get it over the weekend?
Yeah, he did get it over
the weekend. Okay, so he passed up Jerry Rice?
Yeah. So apparently we didn't know about him until
that
recently.
Would put him on the map, but
I don't know.
Thank you, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, thank you.
Didn't know who he was. Anyway, disappointing. I think that we are getting the Super Bowl that people least wanted.
Yeah. I
think everybody wanted the Ravens and the Lions, and of course the Lions to win their first ever Super Bowl, go to their first ever Super Bowl, and they were up 24-7.
Yep, at halftime.
24-7. They ended up kicking one field goal in the first half.
It's almost as bad as the 28-3.
I didn't mind the first going for it on fourth down. The second one was a little questionable.
Mm-hmm.
I think you always take the points, especially that the momentum had flipped. But on the other side of that, you make that call to get the momentum back, right?
Yeah.
And each time they were very close to getting it.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Campbell, he does have the big balls to go for stuff like that.
And he overruled his offensive coordinator on the last one.
Yeah.
They were going to pass, and he really thought they could run the ball for 4 yards on fourth down.
Yeah, I almost say when you are already up that point, a lot of teams, when they have a good lead, they tend to kind of slack off a little bit or be more conservative as far as it's just run the ball, out the clock. No, I don't like that, because then you are letting the other team to take advantage of what you're doing, and they're able to stop you on these 3 and outs because you're trying to run.
Mm-hmm.
And now, the momentum has switched, and you can't get that momentum back half the time.
Not on the road.
I always say stick to your game plan. I don't care if you go up 48 to 12 or 10 at that point. Just finish the game like you have planned it from the very beginning and stick to it.
He did.
Stick to
Dan Campbell, that's what got him there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I'm not going to question the guy. Geez, he got the Lions into the NFC Championship game. It took 30 years of all these other coaches, quarterbacks, players, and everything to get back to that moment.
But kudos to him, too, because his first year, so third year coaching, his first year was 3-13. The next year,
9-7.
9-7, but they started at 1-6. So another rough beginning of the year, and then now here they are. I mean, if you look the last year and a half, the record, they probably what did they finish this year with
12
losses?
wins,
12
12
wins, so they're 12-5.
5, yeah.
Yeah, so if you look at it, they finished the last year and a half 18-6.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with the whole thing is I think we all know that the 49ers have been on a mission for the last 2 years. So if at the beginning of the year you said, oh, the Niners are going to go to the Super Bowl, the Lions will lose to the 49ers in, Santa Clara, it'll be a good game, but they'll lose in a tight, close matchup. You'd probably say, oh, wow, good for the Lions. That's awesome that they got there. But the Niners, yeah, they've been on kind of a mission, but they were right there. And like Dan Campbell said, it is going to be even more hard for them to get back next year to that point than it was to get that first down on fourth down, or, in his case, he didn't kick the field goal. But I don't blame him, man. He had confidence in his team. And the first one went off the guy's hands, the receiver's hands. It was 4th and 2. And the second one they tried to run. They had been popping some runs.
Yep.
And I think that
they
could have caught him off guard, but the Niners are a good team.
Yeah, I know. Actually, up to that point, I think they were rushing like 120 yards on the ground, and McCaffrey only had like 40.
I'm telling you, the 49er fans don't seem quite as cocky right now. I don't think they see their team as very dominant, and now they're having to play a Chiefs team that has just caught absolute fire.
Yeah.
And
well, again, Chiefs only gave up, were only able to put up 14 points. No, 17 points
in the first half.
In the first half, they didn't score at all in the second half. Actually, no one did. I don't think.
No,
I don't think so. Maybe. Oh no, the field goal. Baltimore did get a field goal.
Oh, okay, 10. Half. That's right, yeah. 17-10. Yep.
But again, there's the Chiefs not able to. I mean, they're missing some talented receiver that they had a few years ago. Now they have to rely on Kelsey all the time. I mean, again, he is like extraordinary in the playoffs. Like that's where he shines. And you can't always rely on Kelsey, meaning you're going to go to him all the time. Then they're going to double team him. And then you have to find your next best available receiver. I mean, they have Rashid Rice, but all your other receivers can't catch the ball. So
that one guy made a good catch to seal the game.
Yeah, he did.
I was shocked. I thought he was going to drop it 4 short, and he caught it. He gave it everything he had.
Yeah,
he squeezed that ball as he was coming.
Well, and it kind of bounced a little bit too. So, but no, I see. Again, we'll make our game picks next week during Super Bowl week. But Chiefs, they have a good defense that they have to go against. So it will. I mean, again, we'll see how things pan out here in about 11 days.
Well, I mean, I didn't see a great game plan by the Ravens. You got an athletic quarterback who can run, and it didn't seem like he wanted to run at all.
No, Action Jackson was not there.
No, he wanted to stay in the pocket. He didn't even get outside the pocket, really, for the most part.
And I honestly think the Ravens, they shot themselves in the foot on that. I mean, they had those 2 turnovers in the red zone, one right at the goal line, and then Jackson threw into coverage. You can say that there was a couple PIs there, but he's thrown it into triple coverage, and that's just again fundamental quarterback 101.
I think the Chiefs, the 49ers, should be worried about the Chiefs defense. They just shut down that Ravens offense that was crushing anybody that came into their house, and they shut them down, held them to 10 points at home in a game that meant everything.
I mean, in a way, these conference championships are the Super Bowl for that conference. And a lot of times you get the best 2 teams in the league that get to play in that
but what is going on with the AFC? First, you got the Patriots that are there every year for the last 20 years, and then all of a sudden Brady goes to Tampa, and now it's the Chiefs every year.
Yeah. I don't know.
4 out of 5 to the
Well,
Super Bowl.
Like I said last week, ever since like 2009, there's only been like 4 quarterbacks that have made it to the championship game. or at least those 4 quarterbacks are in the championship game. Peyton, Manning,
Brady,
Mahomes, and then Sanchez was kind of in there.
Mark Sanchez, way back.
He kind of snuck in there in the 010.
So congratulations, Mark. Or should I say, what's wrong with you? Because you're the only one out of all 3 of those guys that doesn't have a Super Bowl.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know, it is going to be the Chiefs are that new destiny or dynasty, like the New England Patriots were in the 2000s.
You know, it's funny. They just didn't seem like the same team, but I said all year, like, I'm not going to pick against the Chiefs until they lose. And I picked against the Chiefs every single game. And here I am eating my own words. I should have just picked the Chiefs. What's wrong with me?
Well, hey, maybe you should pick the Chiefs, and then we'll just have everyone be happy with the Niners winning.
Well, I definitely would rather have the Chiefs win over the Niners. But then I think about it. I'm like, okay, well, what if the Niners win? Will this make them not so aggressive and want it as bad next year? Yeah. You know how teams don't typically, unless you're the Chiefs or the Patriots, get to the Super Bowl over and over and over and over.
I think Chiefs are going to be really trying to get this win, because then they'll be the first team since 2003 that went back to back. So there's that on the table too as well.
Yeah, because they won, lost, won, and now we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. This is the 4th time in 5 years they've been in the Super Bowl.
Well, Burrow was in the.
I know that was.
But you're talking multiple NFCs.
I'm. So in the last 5 years, including this one, they've been in it for 4 of them, and Burrow was the other one that they weren't in. So
yeah, it's poor Cincinnati fans. They're kind of like Detroit fans in a way.
Yeah,
never want to see. Well,
it's funny. I follow this one guy on TikTok or YouTube, whatever. He's kind of funny. Every week he makes this quarterback room, and it just makes fun of like, oh, you were supposed to take down Mahomes, or oh, you were supposed to take down Brock Purdy or whatever, and all the quarterbacks are waiting to see who just got eliminated, and they're just waiting in the quarterback room. And then all of a sudden, Jackson comes in. They're like, "No!"
Yeah. Hey, did Purdy impress you in that game?
Yeah, he did. Nothing like out of the ordinary or anything like that. He just played a good, clean game. I think there was a scramble that he had.
That scramble! I thought the Lions had. I was like,
yeah, but that got his dad up on his feet cheering, and I don't know. It's kind of cool to see this because I have a 1.5-year-old, and I just kind of see myself in that situation. Like, what if my son is playing?
Right, you don't know.
You don't know. But anyway, I just feel for that how that dad is feeling, and it's cool because you can see him or hear him say, "That's my boy." And I mean,
what the thrill! Such a thrill.
Well, in his story too, the fact that last pick in the draft and
Mr. Irrelevant.
3rd string last year, and all.
How many Mr. Irrelevants have ever made it on a squad?
Not that I can recall.
I know there's been undrafted free agents that have obviously made it, but how many Mr. Irrelevants?
I think there's a tackle that may have. I know a few years ago, Denver had the last pick, and we picked up like Jim Kelly's nephew or something like that, and I don't think he played. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't recall.
Anyway, what a game. The games. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to watch 2 games in a row where it didn't go your way.
Yes.
Because we all wanted the Ravens and the Lions, and what a bummer. Well, let's get into what you have for us today,
Not
Travis.
much, because there's only 2 games.
I'm excited to see how I did on my picks.
Yeah, well, let's just say we don't have an actual tally or overall.
Why not?
Because you won.
Okay, thank you. That's all I needed to hear live. Here we are, the 2 games. Oh man, we both missed, but I won and you lost. That means I beat you by 2 games.
Yeah, I think so.
You almost had it. I was like, doggone it, Travis. I should have picked the Chiefs last thing because I thought the Lions were going to walk away with that game and sneak out of there. And that whole city, I felt bad for Detroit. I wanted it.
I think out of all those 4 teams, it was Detroit that I was wanting the most. And We got the Niners versus the Chiefs.
Here we are. Chiefs are going to be in their white uniforms, I found out. And
No, I heard red.
Are they in the red?
Yep.
Okay.
They're the home team. They get a pick, and they chose red, and the Niners will be in their whites.
Oh, I heard that most
you know what? Niners
usually win.
Yes, that is true. Actually, 37 of the 58 Super Bowls, the whites have won.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah. The Niners, they should go do their all whites.
Yeah, they probably will.
They probably will. I think they should do their all whites because the year that they played the Chiefs 2-3 years ago, were they in their whites? I think the Chiefs were in the whites because they won.
I remember.
Yeah, Chiefs won.
They probably were, yeah.
So yeah, Niners, if you're out there, John Lynch, tell Mike Shanahan, or not Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, wear your whites. Just straight up wear your whites. All whites.
Wear
everything.
Whites. Gosh, so this next week will be all the fun stuff that the players get to engage in and be part of, and
media day.
And the only two teams they're talking about in the world, but we have two teams that don't have a head coach right now, and then I'm learning today that one of the candidates for the Seahawks position, which is the offensive coordinator of the Lions, has stepped down and said he doesn't want to be a head coach.
Oh.
He wants to stay as the Lions offensive coordinator. They said he's super loyal guy, even though he doesn't have a contract.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Well, again, looking at the Detroit roster, I don't know contracts, but I don't see anyone of age where it's time to retire. I'm sure Goff will be there. They have a talented rookie class, the tight end and their running back. And I don't know if Montgomery will stick around, but those back-to-back or those two running backs, they had both 1,000 yards rushing.
Wow.
And 10 touchdowns. That's the first time ever that has happened.
Wow. And people were questioning them getting rid of the guys they had in their prior game.
So
Dan Campbell knows what he's doing, guys.
So if they keep what they have on offense, I'm sure St. Brown will be there.
They got to get a little more dominant on defense.
Yeah, I think maybe that's where they might help.
Here's the good news. They are closer than ever to having a team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have it right now. Like maybe just one more, a few little players here and there to help it out.
Let's talk about it. They should have won that game. There was one, you know how you can look back in history in a lot of games and you can pick out that one or two plays that just it bounced off that they threw one down the middle of the field. Lions guys in better position to catch it, but we found out why he plays defensive corner or safety, whatever he was on a play, because he went up with his hands and it hit him in the face mask. His hands are this wide, and he should have just caught the ball like that. It bounces off, and how do you pronounce that guy's name? How do you pronounce his name? Ayeri.
Aku? Brandon Aku? Who caught that?
Aku, yeah.
Yeah, Aku.
Yeah, he caught it. And you look at a play like that, I'm like, oh, no. I remember when it happened, I was like, oh, no. I mean, that's the kind of play that can really energize a team.
Well, you look back in any of the Super Bowls, like there's always going to come down to one given play where it's a big turnaround.
And when you turn the ball over in a big game like that on the road, let alone a game in the playoffs to go to the Super Bowl, it's magnified. It's 100 times worse.
Yep.
And Detroit, you hurt yourself in that game. You had to make all the plays. You missed the defensive opportunity to pick off the ball or at least knock it down. And then you turn around and you gave them 7 more points by fumbling the ball. So
I'm gonna make a bold prediction. Let's just say Niners win the Super Bowl. That very first game that Niners played to kick off the 2024 season opener is going to get beat against the Lions. They'll play each other.
Oh, Lions and Niners?
Yeah, they'll play each other because they're
here's what
top of their division.
It's funny you bring that up because I was thinking, if the Lions win, that was the opening game of this year. The Chiefs and the Lions.
Yeah.
So Lions, great season. You beat the Chiefs. They're in the Super Bowl. You just couldn't beat the Niners to get to an opportunity to play them again. But
and Ravens, you'll have you'll have Jackson again. I don't know who's going to be remaining. I know Odell Beckham. He signed with the team this year. I mean, not that he did much this year, but he might not be there. Actually, I did like Odell Beckham. He went over to Zay Flowers, the guy that did the taunting call and the fumble on the end zone. And he went over to Jackson. Like, he was actually a very good-hearted guy to, calm them down. Like, hey, we did our best. We were there. I give kudos to him on that.
Sure.
I don't know if you saw that or not.
No, I didn't. It doesn't surprise me. I think Beckham's a pretty good dude. I know he gets a little fired up on the field, but the one thing I was thinking of is to ask our Detroit Lions fans to comment in on this video and on some of our platforms and tell us, would you have rather they just had this crappy team? It's what you've grown accustomed to, what you expected. Or are you happy that your team had success and was that you tasted, you're this close, and the feelings and how that hurts when you lose? Because we've both been there.
Yeah. And we've been there, and we obviously been on the winning end too.
I got to tell you, as a Hawks fan, my biggest thing is the Super Bowl against New England. You're right there, and that play is easier to do in the moment than to get back to that moment. That's what your coach said, because the Seahawks haven't been back to the Super Bowl. We haven't even sniffed an NFC Championship game. And wow, so let's hear from you guys. Was it easier to just be 3-13 every year, or are you glad?
I can see the Lions bouncing back from this and then coming back into the playoffs. So there'll be a playoff.
Well, look at the Niners, right? But they were there last year. They should have been in. I think they were better than the Eagles, but their quarterback got hurt.
Again, I remember I was in the 5th grade, and you'll probably remember this too. Denver, of course, John Elway was this great quarterback that has not won the big one. It's been there 3 times and just gets blown out. Denver, the favorite team, goes into the playoffs, number 1 seed, and then the visiting Jacksonville Jaguars come in, and they just handled Denver's offense and defense, and they won by 3. And it was the only time that I cried about football, besides me playing in a game in high school or whatever. But yeah, that was devastating to me. And then the next year, I think that motivated the team itself to get back in there, and then they ended up winning it in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I could see the Lions kind of doing the same thing, but as being a fan, it sucks not being good for 30 years and just almost being there. Like, I feel like they wanted it to just be like, look what we've done for the last 30 years. We won it. You can shut up about it now. And now here we are again where they haven't won it or been to.
You look at the Lions, you're like, yeah, they'll probably be back, right? Obviously, Denver came back, won 2 Super Bowls in a row with Elway. The Lions, they could be back, but maybe they're an Atlanta Falcons team. Maybe they're a Minnesota Vikings team that got to those spots, maybe got to the Super Bowl, maybe didn't. In Minnesota's case, you were good. And we never saw them again.
Yeah. We
never saw them again. They didn't come back. Or a Carolina Panthers team that got there, they couldn't get back. It's hard.
It's hard.
And 49ers, this is, I think, in recent history, this is your 3rd Super Bowl, and you have yet to win one. You lost to the Baltimore Ravens.
3rd in 10 years. Yeah, so this is their 3rd in 10 years.
Yeah.
They made it to the championship game a few other times, too.
And
so, I mean, they're feeling it, too. Like, yeah, we're getting so close, but they just can't. So, I mean, it could be their year, too, now.
Yeah, you can get back. The Rams haven't come close since they won their Super Bowl. Tampa, they made a good try.
I don't know if it'll keep that going as far as what we should do after the Super Bowl. We should make our predictions for next year's playoff hopes.
Yeah, I think we'll have all the coaches in place. We'll know the draft picks. We'll know the weaknesses of every team.
Yeah, maybe at least in the off season we'll do something like that.
So,
keep it entertained over here on this end.
The best available coach for the Seahawks is the defensive coordinator of the Ravens, and let's say Seattle picks him up. Who are the Commanders getting? Do they go back to Belichick or maybe Vrabel?
I don't know.
And be like, hey, sorry guys.
I hear Belichick wouldn't want anywhere else, so he was wanting Atlanta or Chargers.
Yeah, who wouldn't want the Chargers job? I mean, with Herbert in there, you already got your quarterback.
I could see him taking a gap year off and just doing broadcasting or whatever. Maybe.
Did you hear that Greg Olsen got bumped as the #1 color guy on Fox for Tom Brady? Tom Brady's going to be in the booth next year.
Oh, really? And replacing?
I guess if he doesn't go to the University of Michigan, but I heard this that he's bumping Olsen as the #1 guy.
Huh.
And Olsen won an Emmy.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, we'll make our predictions. We want to know your predictions for the game. How mad are you that these are the two teams in there? Unless you're a Chiefs fan, of course, or a Niner fan. But as just a football fan, how upset are you that these are the two teams left standing at the end of the year?
At least they'll save on the confetti. The confetti will just be red.
Yeah, they can just do red. Red and yellow or red and gold.
Maybe red and a dark yellow to kind of go with the yellow and the gold. Regardless.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. I can't even look at the logos. Anyway, we'll bring you our predictions at next week's show.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. And then also the commercials. I'm more excited about the commercials for the first time ever.
I already saw a preview. You know how sometimes they get you hyped up like weeks before and they have like a little sneak peek of maybe an actor that everyone loves or whatever. I saw something. I can't remember what the product was, but the guy the Asian guy that played in The Hangover, what's his name?
I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Anyway, he popped up in one of the commercials. And
Chung or
yeah,
Chung?
Wing Chung, Kim Chung.
Yeah, Kim Chung.
Right? Ooh, I don't know. Anyway,
yeah.
I don't know. Again, we're getting some teasers already for coming soon. February 11th.
Well, I'm super happy I'm going to be on a cruise ship, and I don't have to worry about sitting down and finding a good spot for the game because I'm probably just going to glance at it here and there. Maybe sit down and watch it with a cigar. I don't know.
Well, tune in around 8 p.m. Eastern time because that's probably when Usher will be taking stage.
Oh, I'm looking forward to Usher, right? Usher, baby. Yeah, finally a good performer.
Well, the last 2 years we've had good halftime shows.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to beat the national anthem that
last year.
Oh gosh.
Oh God, Chris Stapleton.
Wow.
Somebody
better bring it.
That was probably the best national anthem since Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston, yeah.
And Reba is going to be singing the national anthem, so I'm sure she'll do a good job. I don't know if she'll be a Chris Stapleton.
Good luck,
yeah.
Reba. Anyway, that's our show for today. Section 325 signing out. We'll see you
second half.